The story begins in the future when a massive explosive eruption on the surface of the sun completely destroyed Earth's ozone layer, making it nearly impossible for any living being to survive on the planet. This eruption is called a solar flare. The situation became so severe that anyone stepping into direct sunlight would start burning. 15 years after this event, we see an engineer named Finch who is out looking for food with his robot partner, Dewey. To protect himself from the deadly UV rays of the sun, he is wearing a special suit that shields his entire body from radiation and alerts him if radiation levels rise, so he can find shelter in time. Humming to himself, Finch arrives at a store with Dewey, where they collect dog food and some other supplies. Many corpses lie scattered on the ground, but they ignore them. After finishing their work, Finch marks the building to remember that he has cleared it. He then gets into a truck and, using a map, drives to a deserted city completely buried in sand. There's no sign of any human life there, so Finch clears the path by ramming his vehicle through obstacles. Suddenly, his suit warns him of a massive approaching storm. Finch tries to escape quickly, but collides with several vehicles in a hurry. Eventually, he manages to leave the city just in time and reaches his underground lab. This place once belonged to the Space Energy Company, where he used to work. The storm continues to grow stronger, but Finch drags Dewey inside, saving both their lives. Once safe, Finch cleans his suit and Dewey thoroughly. While taking a shower himself, he starts coughing heavily, revealing that the dangerous radiation will soon take his life. After cleaning everything, Finch goes to a small room. His dog, Goodyear, jumps to him excitedly, and Finch showers him with affection. He feeds the dog, but only drinks a beverage himself because his food supplies are very limited. He looks longingly at a can of peaches in the fridge, but restrains himself to save it for a special occasion. Finch then immerses himself in his main project, building a humanoid robot to take care of Goodyear after his death. One of Finch's robots scans all the books in the library, saving all the knowledge into a database, which Finch now plans to upload into the humanoid robot's brain. Occasionally, he takes breaks to play ball with his dog. In the evening, Finch reads a book on radiation and feels dejected, realizing he doesn't have much time left. So instead of sleeping, he continues working on the robot. He has almost completed the robot's head, but still needs to add the eyes. So he removes Dean's eyes to use for the robot, promising to install new ones later. When Finch activates the robot, it doesn't speak at first, but moves its head in response to Finch's questions, which makes Finch very happy. He quickly fixes its speech issue, and the robot begins talking, frightening Goodyear, who starts barking loudly. The robot chooses the name Jeff and tells Finch that it now knows everything in the database. According to its programming, Jeff must follow all of Finch's orders, the first being that it must never harm humans. Finch explains to Jeff that its main purpose is to take care of Goodyear after he's gone. Suddenly, the building loses power. Finch goes outside to restore the winter vine system while Jeff tries to interact with Goodyear, but the dog just pees on its leg and walks away. Finch then notices a massive storm approaching from afar and quickly connects Jeff to the weather station. He learns that within 24 hours, 4 separate storms will converge to form a hurricane lasting approximately 40 days. Surviving such a catastrophic storm is impossible, so Finch decides they must leave immediately. He eats the can of peaches, ignoring the bleeding from his nose, and studies the map to find the last possible escape route. They must travel west toward the city of San Francisco. Finch completes Jeff's body assembly and increases the data transfer speed, but calculates that only 72% of the work can be done due to time constraints. He connects the robot's body to its head, and Jeff stands up. Finch teaches him to walk, which scares Goodyear and makes him bark. Jeff stumbles a few times but keeps going. Finch packs all the necessary supplies. Dewey keeps bumping into things due to missing eyes, so Finch uses security cameras to give him new eyes. The team finally gets into the armored vehicle and sets off. Along the way, they see that the surrounding areas have turned into desert. Finch tells them about Earth's golden days when it was full of beautiful flowers and animals. At one point, Finch notices a loose screw in Jeff's head, so he stops in a new city to fix it. While working, Jeff notices Finch's postcard collection. Finch carefully preserves postcards from San Francisco, sent by someone dear to him. Jeff comments that he loves the postcard from Sydney and wants to visit there, but traveling without a plane is impossible. He concludes that San Francisco will do for now. Once repairs are done, Finch goes out to find food. Dewey is disappointed to see Jeff going with Finch instead of him. They walk to a movie theater, whose door is secured with a thick chain. Jeff easily rips the door off with his strength. Inside, Jeff sees his reflection in a mirror for the first time and feels very happy. Meanwhile, Finch found a bag of popcorn. He went outside to show Jeff that the sun's rays were so strong that the popcorn began to pop on their own within moments. At the same time, they noticed that the storm was rapidly approaching them. They immediately got into the RV and fled the city, but the storm was about to catch them. Their only option now was to find a safe place. Finch tied the RV with cables with Jeff's help so the storm wouldn't blow it away. Finch had become very weak due to his illness and quickly grew tired. Jeff then sent him back into the RV, while he himself worked tirelessly to secure everything. Inside, Finch sent Goodyear into a cabinet and quickly covered all the windows, calling Jeff to finish the job. As soon as Jeff secured the last cable, the storm hit the RV. Jeff managed to get inside just in time. The RV shook violently as the storm raged. Finch and Jeff stayed inside, slightly anxious. Outside, all the cables began snapping one by one until only one remained. The RV continued shaking for a long while, and finally, the storm passed. They stepped out and saw that the last cable, the one Jeff had secured with all his effort, was still intact. However, the storm had damaged one of their tires. Jeff lifted the RV himself so Finch could comfortably change the tire. The team spent the night there, resting. The next morning, they opened the solar panels and continued on their way. Later, Jeff began barking at Goodyear, thinking he might be learning the dog's language. Finch reassured him, saying that over time, Goodyear would learn to trust him. While traveling, Jeff asked Finch what trust really meant. Finch struggled to explain, so he told Jeff a story. When Finch was in his first job, no one was working properly on his project. Finch solved all the software problems alone, but gave credit to the entire team when it came time to name the project. In this way, he earned everyone's trust. Jeff didn't fully understand the story, but at that moment Finch started coughing badly. They stopped at a restaurant for a break. Finch parked the RV in the shade at the entrance and ran inside without his suit. Suddenly, he noticed his phone ringing. Goodyear was barking, refusing to leave with Jeff. Finch grabbed Goodyear's leash and brought him into the restaurant, telling Jeff to watch the RV. Finch played with Goodyear inside while Jeff sat in the driver's seat, turned on music, and tried to drive the RV, but accidentally hit another vehicle. Hearing the noise, Finch ran out immediately, with Goodyear following. Finch stopped Goodyear just in time from stepping into the sun. Finch scolded Jeff and told him to park the RV carefully. This time, the RV bumped into the restaurant. Angry, Finch held out his hand in the sunlight, showing Jeff how badly it burns, and yelled that one mistake could have killed Goodyear. He warned Jeff to always act carefully and focus only on Goodyear's safety. As they continued toward their destination, Finch noticed Jeff seemed sad. He decided to teach Jeff how to drive. Initially, Jeff struggled, bumping into things, but soon he learned the technique and could drive comfortably. They stopped for the night to rest and were treated to the beautiful northern lights. With the Earth's ozone layer destroyed, the lights were unusually clear and vivid. Jeff asked why they didn't travel at night if the sun was so dangerous. Finch explained that many hungry people roam in the shadows and attack anyone who appears, so daytime travel is unavoidable. The next morning, Jeff heard Goodyear barking and rushed to Finch, who was vomiting and shivering badly. Jeff took care of him and told him to rest. Finch then drove, reaching a new city. Jeff told Goodyear to stay with Finch while he took Dewey to find some food. They first entered a hospital, but found very little. Jeff told Dewey to stay at the door while he climbed upstairs. Neither of them noticed someone watching them from the shadows. Jeff found some medicine and a jacket, which he put on. Then he found a cabinet full of supplies. Dewey also found some food, but when he approached it, he got caught in a trap. Finch woke up to find his robots missing. He realized he was in trouble. Despite his weakness, he put on his suit and went outside, reaching Dewey in moments. Dewey's condition was so bad that Finch switched off his power. Suddenly, they heard someone approaching, ready to attack, but it turned out to be Jeff. Finch scolded Jeff for not noticing the trap. They then heard a loud noise nearby and immediately started running. On the stairs, Finch coughed violently and fell to his knees, but the sounds were rapidly approaching. Jeff lifted Finch, and both of them quickly got out of the building. Then, they reached the RV and quickly drove away. Hours later, at night, Finch realized that someone was chasing them in a vehicle. Jeff had night vision and could drive in the dark, so he turned off all the RV's lights. Yet, the pursuing vehicle stayed right behind them. They tried to speed up, but Finch noticed an underpass ahead and, in a hurry, steered the RV off the road to hide beneath it. Jeff warned Finch that the RV was taller than the underpass and they might get stuck. But Finch, panicking, continued driving to hide under the underpass. Jeff's warning turned out to be correct. The solar panels on the RV's roof were damaged from hitting the underpass. With the panels broken, Jeff pushed the RV fully under the underpass, hiding it completely. They were all frightened, waiting for the pursuing vehicle to pass. Jeff noticed that Finch kept a gun for self-defense. Luckily, the chasing vehicle drove away. Finch went outside to assess the damage to the RV and cursed himself, realizing that he couldn't repair it now. He knew that, in this state, reaching San Francisco was impossible. Jeff tried to encourage him, but Finch, frustrated, lost his temper and shouted at him. Jeff, however, remained brave and told the RV, "I have complete faith in you. You'll do it." Finch then shared another story. After the solar flare, people were still learning new ways to survive. Finch had once entered a supermarket and found a bag of noodles. But he noticed a mother and daughter, their cart full of supplies, with the little girl holding a gun. The mother kept telling her to shoot if anyone appeared. Finch hid in fear. At that moment, a thug with a shotgun arrived, demanding their supplies. During the struggle, several bullets were fired. By the time Finch came out, both parents were dead. He then heard a noise and saw a frightened puppy crawl out of the girl's bag. That day, Finch adopted the puppy, naming him Goodyear, and promised to always protect him. From that day onward, Finch decided not to trust anyone. The next morning, Finch rested while Jeff drove the RV. Jeff checked the postcards and discovered that the San Francisco postcard had been signed by Finch's father, while the rest were blank. Suddenly, the computer reported that the UV radiation in that area was no longer dangerous. At the same time, a butterfly hit the RV, leaving Jeff confused. He stopped the RV and helped Finch outside. Finch extended his hand into the sun. There was no burn. Overjoyed, he stepped out and enjoyed the sunlight, marveling at the butterflies and flowers around him. After hours of travel, they spotted many trees and plants nearby. To celebrate, Finch wore a special suit and stopped the RV for a picnic in the sun. Jeff mentioned seeing people standing on a bridge the previous night, which made Finch happy. Jeff was now learning to dream like humans. Jeff then asked why Finch had lied about the postcards. Finch shared another story. As a child, his mother told him that his father had Viking blood. Finch showed Jeff a picture of a Viking funeral. His father, an engineer building large bridges, had traveled abroad for work and never spoke to him, though he sent Finch a postcard on his 15th birthday, saying he hoped to meet his son someday. Finch had bought his special suit for that occasion, but sadly, he never received any news about his father after that. Jeff found the story fascinating. He said that if they left quickly, they could reach the Golden Gate in 18 hours. The postcard had been sent from there. Finch reminded him of his own condition. He wouldn't survive the journey. Finch then threw a ball, teaching Jeff to play with Goodyear. However, whenever Jeff threw the ball, Goodyear still brought it back to Finch, as he didn't yet trust Jeff. Suddenly, Finch coughed up a lot of blood. Jeff tried to help, but Finch reassured him that he had already done enough. Finch shook Jeff's hand and hugged him. Finally, Finch lay down in the RV, with Goodyear by his side. Jeff stayed outside gathering supplies. When the sun set, he heard Goodyear crying and realized that Finch had passed away. To honor him, Jeff and Goodyear gave Finch a Viking-Style funeral, burning him along with his suit. At first, Jeff wasn't sure what to do next, but he remembered his promise to take care of Goodyear. He fed the dog, threw the ball, and Goodyear returned it to him for the first time. They quickly became friends, and Goodyear even hugged Jeff. Together, they continued their journey, determined to reach Finch's intended destination. When they finally reached San Francisco, Jeff created a memorial in Finch's memory and visited the Golden Gate with Goodyear. Awestruck by its beauty, he also read messages left by other people for their families. Seeing this, Jeff told Goodyear that they should help any surviving people they could find. Finally, he drew a picture of his team on a postcard, hung it up, and set off to start a new life with Goodyear. If you enjoyed this story, like the video and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.